I've been thinking a lot lately about survival mode and confidence. And I honestly think that survival mode destroys people's worth of self. Because when you're constantly stressed, exhausted, and just trying to get by, it does something to your confidence. So, what actually is survival mode? It is dressed up in many different ways, and based on your background, it could look very different for you. But some of the natural things that fall under survival mode is overworking, because the truth is you have responsibilities, you have bills that are come knocking every single due date every month that you cannot skip. Maybe you have a family to provide for, maybe you have debt, maybe you have just about all of those combined that are keeping you working constantly. Some people are really living paycheck to paycheck, and I don't mean where you have your baselining. Some people aren't even baselining. A lot of people have to choose between which bills to pay and which to not pay just because they're that tight month to month. And that brings about a lot of emotional numbness, constant stress, excessive anxiety, and just feeling like you're never ever getting to that space of peace. And I really think about this, and I'm just realizing that many people just need that safety, that rest, that sense of reconnecting with themselves. Just a moment to breathe. Does not mean they don't have confidence. Maybe it's just a phase or a moment. I saw this creator on social media who is clearly a Jamaican, and she talks about the fact that she was born confident just because she's Jamaican. And when she goes around women who are lack in confidence, she feels uncomfortable. And in one essence, I understand where she's coming from, because of course energy feeds off energy. But not just this creator, many other creators online are making very shameful confident. Is it that if this person is lack of confidence right now because of immense pressure and just going through their day-to-day life in survival mode and trying to figure it out, does that mean they will never be confident? The thing about confidence is it's something that you can learn. And even though on social media there's a lot of fake confidence going around, this is what you should do to be confident, you should do this, etc., etc. And some of them are factual, some of them, just most of them actually, just leads to you buying a course or a checklist or something that you think is going to solve the problem, when in reality it's not, because that was never the issue to begin with. There are things that you can do to build your confidence, which obviously includes keeping your words to yourself and being consistent at that. But there's nothing to say that if you're not confident today, you can't be confident tomorrow if you're actively working on it. There's also a lot of performative productivity. There's a lot of aesthetic self-improvement. There's a lot of comparison culture. So are you really going to take everything that's on social media just to be the thing that you have all your baselines at? I am not here to digress whether the all confidence industry is a bluff, because there are things to learn and there are people who are genuinely trying to help you. But understanding what is helpful to you is going to happen when you sit down with yourself and hear your inner voice, just like I talked about in my video yesterday. Not just because something is being loud in your ear means that's the best choice for you. The thing about this confidence content that's on social media is that it skips over the emotional and environmental realities that people actually live in. Like, not everybody is able to just get up and do your hair and feel confident. Not everybody just get up to start working out and feel confident. Yes, these are things that help you, and I'm not telling you not to do them, because they surely will boost your confidence. But those are short-term things. If you don't have the money to work to get your hair done next month, then you will fall off. If you're not able to work out one day, then you're suddenly not confident anymore. So what I'm saying is, do these things and work on the inner problem that will help you to adjust your survival mode mentality that we all have been taught to get to this point that we are right now. I shared a bit of my personal experience yesterday in my previous video, and you should watch that to get the full details. But basically what I was talking about is just that I've just been over optimizing my life, working myself down to the ground just to get this rebuilding phase to a certain level, and it has been extremely exhausting. But you know what? It taught me that confidence is, just like I mentioned earlier, is something that comes to you when you keep the things you say to yourself. So at the end of the day, do the things that you say, and that will be something that helps to heal those promises that were probably broken by everybody else, which made you lose your confidence anyway. I have a story to share from when I was younger. I was just the most bold person. Everywhere I go, sometimes I hear the stories that my family members would share with me to remind me of when I was a kid. And in many ways, I don't connect with them, because even though I still will speak my mind, I have went to the opposite conservative side of things. And that's just through a lot of self-reflection and probably some unprocessed events in my life or things like that. But I was at the park about 3 months ago or so, and this little girl came up to me. I was on the swing. She came up to me and she asked me my name. I told her, I asked her her name and her age. She's like 3 years old, very bold and confident. And she said, "Can you push me on the swing?" So I kindly scanned the room to see if her parents approved, and they did. So I was pushing her for a little bit. That encounter reminded me of myself, because even though I didn't really connect with everything that my family members would tell me about how I was as a child, in that moment I felt it. I felt like I was this bold when I was a kid. But throughout my entire life events of things just happening, it completely shifted how I showed up. And after actively assessing myself and figuring out how to rebuild my confidence, and also understanding when I was the most confident, what was I even doing, it really helped me to come to that conclusion where I said confidence is built when you consistently keep your words to yourself. You start to feel confident in yourself. You start to feel like your voice matters, so you start to speak up. You start to feel like you matter, so you walk with your head held high, and you're not just always trying to avoid every interaction or every conversation just because it's hard, because you believe in yourself and what you have to say. When these gurus say, just do it and stop making excuses and all of that, sometimes confidence isn't just built through mindset. It's built through safety, peace, consistency, and rebuilding that relationship with yourself. I watched this TED Talk with Kiki Palmer today. I don't know if y'all saw it. It was really great. You can check it out. And she was just talking about how she grew up in survival mode, and she had to get to this point where she realized that, yes, I had to stay in that stage to get here, but it's okay for me to let it go. Sometimes, because this is how we've been trained to function based on how our upbringing came, and these were skills that our parents instilled on us just to make sure that we were gonna be okay. It gets to a point where you just have to let it go, and when the job is finished, you can actually start living and not feel like you have to be in survival mode every single second. But of course, that's not easy when you literally are struggling to make your ends meet. So when everybody is coming on the internet to tell you that you should just do it and stop making excuses, then you feel shamed. Then you feel like nothing you're doing even matters. And then you don't want to do anything, which never changes the problem. So if you get nothing from this video, I want you to take this away. Maybe some people don't need to become somebody new. Maybe they just need an environment where they can fully breathe, where they can relax and feel safe and connected to themselves again. And then you will start feeling confident because you remember who you are, what you're doing, and why it all matters. And this is why I say that self-care is mental too, and you have to check in with yourself to see where you're at and not allow everybody else to be speaking louder than yourself, not to be allowing everybody else to get into your head and make you feel like you are 200 pounds of a mess. Yes, we do need accountability, and yes, we do need structure, and yes, we do need support, because sometimes the stories that we've been telling ourselves our entire lives are the reasons why we are not changing our physical lives. So maybe you need to tell yourself a better story, but that story is not that you cannot change your confidence. It's that you probably need to change your environment, and that will work. That will help you to increase your self-confidence. And environment isn't just physical, it's mental too. Everything is physical and mental. So believe that if you want to reconnect with yourself and you just don't know how, just start with 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be this exaggerated thing that overwhelms you and makes you not want to show up. Just start with 5 minutes, sit down, find out where you are. For me, I enjoy journaling because that helps to get my thoughts out, and if that's something that you want to try, you can try it. But find what you like. Maybe that's not the thing for you. At the end of the day, I want you to do what works for you. And I know this is not the message that sells, but at the end of the day, I feel more confident in myself to know that I'm not just telling you something just for you to buy something from me, right? Because sometimes we just really need somebody to show up in that capacity without it being a transactional experience. If you do, however, are in survival mode in the realm of your finances and you want support to get to that, to move from stuck to having a plan, I do have a 30-day reset for that. But if that's not the space that you're in, I hope you watch this video, save it, and probably watch it a few times, and you can find something of value from it that can help you. Okay? Well, that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you have been around, welcome back, and please share this video with anybody who could benefit. Give me a thumbs up, comment down below anything that stood out to you, and I'll see you in the next one tomorrow. Let's go make some mistakes. Bye.